Do you know why I started feeling that way about squirrels? I started feeling that way about squirrels because I found out that squirrels live in the same place for years and years and years. Like when you see a squirrel and their family in a tree, their papaw squirrel lived in that same tree. The great grandpa squirrel lived in that same tree. They're not just out wild running about. The reason that I get upset when I see a squirrel die is because I know for a fact its kids saw his dead body. I'm not fucking kidding, dude. I'm not fucking kidding because like they say like the squirrels in my mama's yard, they had squirrel ancestors that go back to the Civil War. So
you had like racist Confederate
squirrels just being like these goddamn northern squirrels coming down here fucking shit up. Like
you had you had squirrels that owned slaves.
Yeah, of course. What I got this gerbil that does stuff for me, but I give him a fucking tree stump to live in. Like what are you gonna do? I've broke fucking down, dude. I've broke down. I had to pull over. Like I remember 2.5 years ago. Now, granted, like I was super fucking hungover, coming down from a party. My serotonin levels like weren't great. I'd probably been doing coke for like 20 hours or something like that. But I just saw a squirrel on the side of the road, and I saw its leg just kind of like, it was like still hanging on. And I just remember thinking like, its kids are going to wake up in a minute and like, because their dad just left from their tree to like go get some nuts or whatever. And he never fucking came. He went to get some squirrel cigarettes. You know what I mean? Like
I'm not a squirrel doctor, but I don't think that's how squirrels' brains work.
How do you fucking know, dude?
I'm not a squirrel doctor.
You don't think they love? They don't think they have the capacity to love?
No, I don't.
You don't think that
squirrels love?
Hold on. Hold on.
You're about to make the case for squirrels.
I'm about to make the case for any animals loving.
Love is a very complex human emotion. Maybe great apes, elephants, and maybe dolphins.
Oh, really?
Dude, most of these motherfuckers you're talking about will eat their goddamn babies. They don't give a fuck.
You're talking about crabs. I've seen
I'm not just talking about crabs.
Cats don't have the capacity to love.
No, cats are only made of hate. Cats hate is what most cats
squirrels
hit
are
from me.
They're capable of love.
Squirrels are not capable of love.
I think anything
love.
Anything with a heartbeat is capable of love.
Anything with a heartbeat is capable of love.
Any living thing.
The human definition of love.
Yes.
They eat them.
You're going to sit there and say to me like, oh, humans don't have the capability of love because sometimes a mother drowns their fucking baby in a tub.
You're giving them human characteristics that they do not have.
They're capable of love.
They do not feel love.
Yes,
Squirrels?
They feel love.
They're rodents.
If you watch a squirrel long enough, you'll see it either rape or... If we do this, then my dog did not love me, and I will
That's
not live.
That's not what I said.
Okay, so a dog's different than a squirrel?
Dogs are programmed to love you, which is fine.
Love their families.
Dogs do love you. They are programmed to love you.
I swear to you, I've seen a squirrel whimper over their dead father.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
No.
Sure, I have.
They will steal their dead father's nuts.
Well, of course, 100%. Because they have to eat.
Squirrels don't give a fuck, dog.
All right.
If love isn't more meaningful than that, then what even is it?
What do you mean, though? That makes love. That makes love the most meaningful is that it's universal.
They don't love.
Trae.
What?
I mean,
look at that, dude.
Come on.
They love.
They don't love?
Come on.
There's a chigger or something in that bottom squirrel's ear.
And they're helping it out.
Eating. Dude, you could fucking run over that bottom squirrel with a motorcycle, and that top one would be like...
It would have to move on.
That top one would be like, who knows where his nuts are at, because that's what I'm trying to get to.
They have to move on, because that's the world, but they still grieve.
They don't grieve. They
grieve.
do not grieve. You could count on 5 fingers the number of animals in this,
what about that
in this world.
What about that goddamn gorilla that cried?
Gorillas grieve. Gorillas grieve. Elephants grieve. I think
Squirrels
maybe
grieve.
whales. Squirrels don't grieve.
Yes, they
shit.
do.
Squirrels don't grieve shit.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. Love is a complex emotion.
And squirrels are a complex
that
creature.
You are trivializing by
not.
ascribing to fucking rodents. They don't love. If love isn't more meaningful than that, then what the fuck is the point of it?
That's the point, is that we all share it.
We don't. So
yes,
jellyfish love?
No, they're different.
Okay. All right, dude.
Dude, fuck you, jellyfish. I'm talking about like squirrels are...
Squirrels as well as most animals
mammals.
do, in fact.
Squirrels are mammals, ain't they?
They found that rats and most other animals have the same physical areas of the brain that process emotion and empathy, etc.
Do you want to apologize?
Sure. No, I don't, because rats eat their goddamn babies.
I bet you there's squirrels that don't do that, though.
So there's just special squirrels?
I'm saying that, like, if you want to, do you want to judge all human behavior based on Jeffrey Dahmer? No. There's some squirrel serial killers.
You are the one who's subscribing this human perception.
It fucking just said that they grieve.
Yeah.
And you go, no, I don't want to apologize for the thing that I said was true. And now, I mean, granted, this is just a fucking, like, Google search.
To be fair, it says, in my opinion.
Yeah,
It's
well,
also-
in my opinion, I wrote this,
Yeah,
by the way.
in the opinion
I wrote
of
this.
in the opinion of the squirrelboard.com.
Who would know more?
Dude, do you realize how fucking hardcore actual nature is? They
Yes.
don't have the privilege of grieving, Corey.
Okay.
They leave their kids behind.
So did
to be
people in the
eaten.
fucking West, okay? So did people in the fucking West. People in the goddamn West had to watch their goddamn kids die of scurvy all the time. And yes, they had to move on. They had to move on because it meant that their other kid might die. But that didn't mean that they didn't fucking hold that shit inside of him. They just didn't have a moment to grieve. Just because the squirrel has to pick up and go on with his life, and a human being is allowed to actually have a funeral and take a couple weeks off of goddamn work because they have a stock of food, doesn't mean that this squirrel isn't just fucking holding it down inside.
Oh
That's
my
all
God.
I'm saying.
So why don't you start a fucking squirrel therapy group? You're worried about these squirrels
I
bottling
won't even
up.
go to
worried about
therapy
these
myself.
Squirrels bottling up their emotions and shit.
They have
Give
to.
me a fucking break.
But fucking like Wide Earp and all them motherfuckers
Dude, I
did
don't
the same
I
shit.
don't
They
think-
were the
dude,
squirrels of the West.
People back in that day, the squirrels of the West, the fucking people back in the day didn't even name their kids.
I know.
And we don't do that anymore.
I know.
I'm saying.
But squirrels were never allowed to. But you're telling me though. But the people that didn't name their kids still didn't grieve. The squirrels were never allowed to evolve to the point that we are.
Comparing
Yes.
people from 200 years ago
to squirrels.
to fucking squirrels.
Yes.
Dude, ridiculous.
No.
Ridiculous.
They're not allowed to grieve. They don't have a moment because there's a wolf behind them.
None
and just
of those
like fucking the Earths had to do.
None of those pioneers were fucking carving up and eating their goddamn babies.
But they fucking would if they were in the goddamn cold. Hell yeah, they would. But they would always have one of them that would die of natural causes, and they would fucking eat their baby's chest. Of course they fucking would, dude. They did that shit all the time. Are you kidding me?
So squirrels are just a couple generations behind us.
They
is what
should
you're saying.
all be wearing 6-shooters, dude. Like every time I see a squirrel, they've got fucking 2 guns and a cowboy hat.
I'm not disputing that. Any rodent out there ought to have a fucking Colt 45.
All I'm
sound
saying is what
super
you're.
rad.
So you're telling me that in the fucking Black Plague times, mothers didn't grieve their son just because we don't have time to grieve our son because our next one's going to die too? They still grieved. It's just they didn't have all the time we have now. They didn't have to do a funeral. They didn't have time to do a fucking wake. They couldn't take time off work. They had to fucking move on with their life because they were in fear of dying too, and they had to go get fucking nuts to feed their other fucking kids. Grieving is a goddamn luxury that we have, but they still.
I agree with that.
Squirrels still miss their dad.
That fucking rodents don't.
They still miss their
squirrels
dad.
don't miss their
They
dad.
miss their dad.
Dude, squirrels don't know their dad.
Yes, they do.
There ain't a goddamn squirrel out there that knows their fucking daddy.
Yes, there is.
No, they're not.
All of them.
Squirrels are all like fucking.
I love that you just know everything about
know.
squirrels.
Squirrels do not know their
What
daddy.
I know about squirrels.
I'm not a squirrel
Corey,
doctor.
you don't know shit about squirrels. I know everything about fucking
I am
squirrels.
not a squirrel doctor, but they
I
do not know
fucking
their daddy.
cannot wait.
Squirrels do not know their daddy. Squirrels are like every fucking stereotypical.
They literally live in the same fucking area their whole goddamn life. What would be the point of that? They are fucking territorial animals.
Do you realize that almost every creature in the animal kingdom, the dads aren't even there? I'm not a goddamn animal doctor, but near 90...
You ain't shit,
90
apparently. Squirrels can love.
Everything I'm saying is fucking backed by science. 98%.
Share your sources, Trae.
98% of all fucking animals, their mama fucking kicks them out the den when they're fucking old
But
enough
she
to
raises
walk
them first.
and catch a fit. Okay, first of all, a huge percent of them don't raise them at all. Fucking, they lay their eggs in the sand and fuck off for years.
Oh, squirrels lay eggs?
I'm talking about animals right now.
Right, you're not talking about squirrels.
Most mammalian mothers...
That's not true.
support them long enough until they're able to feed. Once they're able to feed themselves, they fuck off for forever.
Nah.
Forever. It's 100% true.
And I'm sure that hurts them when they leave.
It doesn't hurt
Just like
them.
it hurts a mother when their kid goes off to college.
Every goddamn
they
pet
want them to
dog-
have a life of their own, but they still fucking miss them.
Every goddamn pet dog you've ever had has been ripped from its mother's
and that didn't hit for
arms.
them. It didn't hit for them.
And they were fine.
No, they hated it.
They didn't.
I've seen the videos. They cried, dude. They wept.
For how long?
Okay, we probably need to get back to like rich people.
Well, I had other shit to say about hunting, but
No,
maybe
go
we'll
on.
circle- No. We'll
I
circle
feel
back
like-
to that later. We need to move on.
I feel like if we keep with the squirrel thing, Corey might knock the set down. So let's keep rolling.
Okay, Russ. Corey's just such a sweet boy with such a big heart.
That's, by the way, I know that is your very nice way of saying what a piece of shit, stupid idiot.
I'm not.
A very sweet boy with a very sweet heart. No one has ever described Oscar Wilde that way. I just know that I'm right.
Okay, I know for a fact
go
that
back
you're
to
not.
hunting. That was a fire segment.
Yeah, it was great.